Hi there, this is Ranjit and welcome to my YouTube channel, that's Geeky Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the full in-depth review for this Xperia T2 Ultra. And the striking thing about this device is that the screen, it sports a 6-inch screen, and this is a mid-range Android device. And let me start with the screen size. This is a 6-inch phone, and to give you an idea, let me place a few phones beside that too, so that you get an idea. This is the Note 3 Neo, which sports a 5.5-inch screen. This is the Nexus 5 that sports a 5-inch screen, and let me just bring this is the Moto X that sports a 4.7-inch screen. So this should give you an idea about the screen size of this Xperia T2 Ultra. By any stretch, it's a very big device. Though the weight is evenly distributed, it weighs 172 grams, it's comfortable to hold, but it's a big device, so you might need to use two hands to operate it. Sony has made some software enhancement to make it easier. For example, if you double tap the home, you get access to the quick settings right over here. So there are some enhancements like that. Before we proceed, let me give you a physical overview. On the top, actually, we have nothing, and on this end we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. And this Xperia T2, we get in two varieties, that is the single SIM variant or the dual SIM. Strangely, the pricing for both the dual and the single SIM is very similar. This is the dual SIM variant that we have, and I added just one SIM card. You can add two SIM cards over here. Again, it accepts the micro SIM. Here we have the power on off button, and this is the volume rocker. We also have a dedicated button for the camera shutter, and on the bottom actually we have nothing. And on this end, this flap can also be opened, and you can add a micro SD card. I added a 8GB micro SD card here. And here we have the micro USB slot that will be used for charging this device. This is not a water resistant model. And here we have the 13 megapixel camera with LED flash, a secondary microphone, and this is NFC compatible. And we have the Sony branding and the Xperia branding. And as you can see, this is the opening for the speaker grill. It's pretty big, but again, don't be fooled. But again, the sound quality was not that great. I'll talk about it a bit later. We also have a front facing camera that's a 1.1 megapixel, and it can record video up to 720p. The rear facing camera can record video that's full HD, that's 1080p. And we have the we also have a LED notification light, and we have that huge 6-inch screen, and the back, home, and the multitasking buttons are part of the display. And the phone actually looks very sleek. It's a fairly slim phone, and in the looks department I have no issues. The only thing is that the back is a fingerprint magnet, as you can see, and it's plastic, it's not glass. So in long-term usage you might get a bit of scratches, so it's a good idea to put a screen guard or something like that on the back. Let's just talk about the configuration, and it's powered by the Snapdragon 400 chipset. Let me show you the same using the CPU-Z application. That's a quad-core processor, and it's clocked at 1.4 gigahertz. This is the same processor that was used on the Moto G, that was clocked at 1.2 gigahertz, but this one is clocked at 1.4 gigahertz. And regarding the GPU, it's powered by the Adreno 305 GPU. RAM is 1 gig, and the screen size, as I told you, is a 6-inch 720p panel. Regarding the battery is not user replaceable. It's sealed inside. It's a 3000 milliampere battery, and I didn't do extensive testing regarding the battery, but in my limited testing with just a single SIM, I would say the battery life that I got was very good on this device. Also, in terms of sensors, Sony did not skimp on the sensors, and we have almost all the sensors that are needed. So it's not a very powerful phone. It's just sad to see that we just have 1 GB of RAM considering the price point. Now coming to the price point, and I want to thank Faisal Communications for providing this unit for review. The price quoted on the box is 26,990. I've seen this device going in the market anywhere around 24,000 or so at the time of shooting this review, but Faisal Communications quoted me a street price of around 23,000 for this device. And now let's look at the settings, and here, as you can see, we have the quick toggles. You can personalize them, and let's go to the settings now. And if you go to about the device, it's running on the Android version 4.3, that is Jelly Bean. So that's for the Android version that you get. And regarding storage, here also I'm a little bit disappointed. It comes with 8 GB of internal storage, but out of that, out of the box, you just get about 4.3 GB or so. And if you are a person, if you have watched my gaming review, you'll notice that the internal storage can be an issue if you are a person who installs a lot of apps or games. Yes, we do have the micro SD card slot, and I added a micro SD card, but sadly you cannot move the games or apps directly to the SD card. You can just move the photos, pictures, etc. to the SD card. Now let's just fire up the web browser as we are connected to my Wi-Fi network. And it's going to our website, that's tech2buzz.com. This is the default keyboard, and it's actually very easy to type. One annoying thing I have with this phone is, let me show you, the auto brightness setting. I've kept it to manual setting right now, but if you set it to auto, as you can see, the screen becomes actually pretty dull. So that's a little bit annoying. Let's go back to this our website, that's tech2buzz.com. And the web browser performs without any issues. There's no issues with that. And let's open up one of the story. Let's open the Sony Xperia M story. And let me change the orientation. We have a couple of YouTube videos that we'll play. Let me just zoom in. And let's try to play this one.
Hi there, this is Ranjit.
And I'll maximize the volume. And as you can see, it's playing it without any issues. And the only con is that this is at max volume. So I feel the volume level is a little bit low to my liking. One place where I like Sony is, let me just adjust the auto brightness, remove it, keep it to manual brightness. And one thing I really liked about this phone is the screen quality. The screen quality that Sony has put on this is excellent. It's using that Bravia engine, and it has that tri-luminous display, and the panel is very good. In many of the earlier Sony Android phones, we had an issue with the viewing angles, but I don't have any issues regarding the viewing angles on this phone. The only con I feel is the auto brightness sensor. If you keep it on auto brightness indoors, it is very dull. So I was normally using it with manual brightness. Now moving to media playback, the good thing is that this phone does support a USB OTG cable. Let me just connect it and show it to you. And as you can see, my USB OTG cable is glowing, and as you can see, it detected it, and we can fire up. We also have a file manager that is pre-installed on this phone. Let me just invoke that file commander, and I'll register later. And you can just go here, and let's go to the external USB storage. This is our pen drive, and as you can see, I'll just play this 1080p video, and I'll play it without any issues. Also, in terms of video playback, I could play many of the 1080p videos, not all of them, but most of them I could play. So in terms of media playback also, I don't have an issue. And actually, I would say, let me just play back this video again and show it to you. It's a pleasure watching videos on this. My USB OTG cable is giving some issues. Got disconnected. I'll show you using YouTube. And let's invoke YouTube now. And let's just go to one of my and let's just go to my own channel, that's Kiki Ranjit. Yeah, and let's just select one of the videos. Let's just select this Moto X unboxing video.
Hi there, this is Ranjit, and
let me just skip.
And again, it feels pretty surfaces.
So as you can see, it plays it well without any issues, and also in terms of the picture clarity, it is very good. So the panel that Sony has put in is very good. So no issues regarding media playback on this device. Now coming to gaming, I have already made a separate video regarding the gaming. You can check out that for more info. It could play many of the casual games without any issues, and even if you see, I could play Asphalt 8 and even Real Racing 3 and FIFA 14. But on Asphalt 8, to get the smoothest playback, I had to keep it on medium settings. So if you keep the games at medium settings, you can even play high-end games. But the issue is the internal storage. You can check out my gaming review for more info. Now let's talk about the camera. The rear facing camera is a 13 megapixel shooter, and I would say in my experience, I had a mixed experience with the camera. Let me talk about the interface first. We do have the superior auto mode, but if you keep it on superior auto mode, it will take the pictures at 9 megapixel. And it's nice to see that we have a lot of effects that we have seen in premium Sony phones like Xperia Z or the Z1 Compact. They do come here. I do like this AR effect. For example, you can just select the effect. For example, let's use the butterfly effect. And now just notice the screen for a while. We'll see some butterflies, etc., and then we can take the shot. Yeah. It's not the fastest, but it does work. For example, like this. So we have these fancy effects, and this one I really like is this feature. For example, let me just go back. Time shift burst. It takes 30 snaps within a second. For example, let me take this shot, and as you can see, it has taken so many shots. And now from here you can select which one is the best shot and save it. This will be ideal for taking the shots of children or people who are moving around. This way you can get your perfect shot. So it's good to see that we are getting all these functions on this T2 Ultra. And you also have the manual mode over here, using which you can adjust everything. I did all my testing in the superior auto mode, and in terms of video it can record up to 1080p. Now let me show you some of the sample shots and videos that I took with this T2 Ultra. These pictures were shot with the T2's Ultra rear facing camera, and as you can see outdoors it does a decent job, and some more sample pictures shot with the T2 Ultra outdoors. I'm recording this video with the Xperia T2 Ultra at the highest setting possible, that's 1080p, and the audio that you're hearing is also being recorded by the internal microphone of this T2 Ultra. I'm just walking, and this is a shadowed area, and I'll move to a sunny area. It's pretty sunny, it's summer in India. And let me just move back to the shadowed area now. And I'm just going to walk back normally now. So this should give you an idea about the video recording capabilities of this T2 Ultra. It's also a bit windy, so it might catch a little bit of wind noise. These pictures were now taken in semi-indoor conditions, and I felt the colors were completely washed out here. And these pictures were shot in completely artificial light in my office, and I felt the T2 Ultra is pretty weak in artificial light, and the flash was also very aggressive. It was firing for almost every shot, and here I switched off the flash, and as you can see, there is no detail in the picture. The pictures are very soft. So what do I think about the camera capabilities? Yes, the camera is decent, but as you have seen from the sample shots, outdoors it does a very good job, and it's comparable to, I would say, a point and shoot camera. You won't miss your entry level point and shoot cameras. But sadly, indoors and in artificial light, I would say the camera performance was not that great, and it was kind of disappointing. In fact, I would say even this Moto X that has just a 10 megapixel camera did a lot better in artificial and indoor lighting. And even this Note 3 Neo, which just has a 8 megapixel camera, did a better job. And it looks like the problem is within the software. Many times in indoor photography there was a lot of noise in the picture, so I was not that satisfied with the picture quality indoor. Hopefully Sony can improve it with a software fix, but as of now I would say outdoors the camera is very good. Also in the video department it is very good, but for indoor photographies and in artificial light I am not happy with the camera performance of this T2 Ultra. Now regarding the general performance, I would say the performance was good, but I did notice a little bit of stuttering when there are a lot of widgets on the screen. For example, this is okay here, but if you notice, if I go to this widget many times, I do notice a little bit of lag. And I would say I can attribute that to just 1 GB of RAM. So for the most part, it is a lag-free phone, but I do notice a little bit of lag on home pages that has a lot of widgets. Now coming to the call quality also, here let me show you the same. The call quality is good, I would say. but it's not the best I've seen. I would rate it anywhere around 9 out of 10. Let me just let's just call this number and I'll put it to the speaker, so you can also judge the speaker quality.
Welcome to the ASL prepaid service.
This is at max volume.
Press 1. To know the balance and validity of your prepaid account, press 2.
So the speakerphone at max is not that clear, and also it's not that loud. The earpiece is much better, I would say, and in terms of cellular call quality, I would rate it 9 out of 10, so no issues. Now coming to the dual SIM, this is we also get this in a single SIM variant, and we do have some settings here. I just tested it with a single SIM. You can rename the SIMs over here, SIM 1 or SIM 2, and also in terms of sound, if you go, you can put separate ringtones for the SIM 1 and the SIM 2. Again, it's a dual standby, not dual active, but I did all my testing with just a single SIM. So how would I rate this Sony Xperia T2 Ultra? I would say it's a decent phone, and it is ideal for people who are primarily looking for a very large screen size phone, and for that I would say it does a decent job. It sports that 6-inch screen and the screen quality is very good. But I feel that Sony skimmed on a few things. For example, it has just 1 GB of RAM, and the sad thing is that it has just 8 GB of storage. Out of that, you get just around 4.3 GB. That can be a limiting factor for people who are heavy users or gamers. So that is one major con, I feel. And also in terms of the speaker output, I would say the speaker output is not that great. So these are some of the minor shortcomings of this Sony Xperia T2 Ultra, and I do feel that currently it's priced a little bit high in my opinion. So I hope that you found this video review of this Xperia T2 Ultra helpful. If you found it helpful, I'll appreciate if you can click the like button, and if you aren't subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe to the same. Thank you. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.